Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Solo ReacTalk. This morning, I'm going to be reacting to a video requested by Alpha Shocker. It's called Hammer and Sickle RPG, made on the Warlockracy YouTube channel. If you guys want to check out the original video as well as Warlockracy's YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. Yes, I just want to say thank you to all those who gave me messages of support during my time away as I was dealing with a family situation. And yes, thank you very much for being patient. Thank you very much for your messages of support, and I'm glad to be back doing reaction videos on my YouTube channel. And also well done to Solo ReacTalk for reaching 4,000 subscribers, as well as happy birthday to my channel Solo ReacTalk. Yay. Alright, let us start with Hammer and Sickle RPG. 3, 2, 1, go.
Nazi werewolves, perhaps. Maybe even commies.
The beautifully insane Hammer and Sickle. A
Nazi werewolves?
non-linear, mechanically sophisticated role-play experience, featuring exotic party members with satisfying character arcs.
Gain their trust and shoot them in the back.
Join one of the game's many guilds and factions like Stalin's Legion or Neo-Ahnenerb, and meet the regional power players like Mr. Dulles.
Dulles' new CIA.
The adventure takes place in the forgotten realm of West Germany, a fictional place where all sorts of
Is that a nuclear bomb? In West Germany? Okay.
miracles are possible.
To avoid denazification.
So is this like Baldur's Gate, but with communists? Well, no. But in some ways, yes. Like it's also a part of a trilogy. The original Silent Storm was made in 2003. It's a World War II small squad tactics game with RPG elements. The standalone expansion Silent Storm Sentinels was out in 2004. The Axis and the Allies characters joined forces to fight an international conspiracy. The 2005 Hammer and Sickle takes place in the same universe, but it's different from its predecessors in a number of ways. Most notably, the game changed genres. This is an RPG. Curiously, the studio responsible for Hammer and Sickle doesn't seem to have a real name. This was originally a mod distributed for free, but
A mod turned into an official game? Oh, wow. I don't think I've actually heard of something like that happening.
the folks from Nival must have decided it was good enough to be translated to English and published officially. But then they must have reconsidered, because you can no longer buy this, at least not digitally. You can get a physical copy if you look for it hard enough, but I don't even have a DVD drive. How odd. They sell other Silent Storm games, but not this one.
Probably the people who created the mod are in a legal battle with the game publishers, maybe.
Wonder why. Today we'll be solving the mystery of Hammer and Sickle.
My Führer, everything is different now.
The character
My Führer? Isn't he dead? Isn't this after World War II? Okay.
creation is very simple. The most important choice is the choice of class, because it determines what perk tree you get. Any character can use
Like any RPG.
any weapon, but snipers have perks that synergize with rifles. Soldiers are good with SMGs, grenadiers with grenades. You get it. Recon was the most powerful class in previous Silent Storms, but in Hammer and Sickle, the developers made a decision to disable the use of stealth mode in daylight, so scouts are not what they used to be. Engineers have a specialized perk tree that benefits the Silent Storm power armor.
Oh, that is... Okay, cool.
Fortunately, power armor is not a feature in Hammer and Sickle, making this class boring. The game allows us to pick whatever name and call sign we want, but the narrative will pretty much completely ignore this. We are
Like any other RPG game. I'm just thinking about, like Mass Effect. When you create your character, you can name your character whatever you want. You are still Commander Shepard. Or, Dragon Age. Like Dragon Age Origins, you can create your character, you can give your character a name, a dwarven name, an elven name, a human name, it doesn't matter. you are still the Grey Warden. Or in Dragon Age 2, you are the champion of Kirkwall. You know, that's what they know you as. Either they call you by your surname. What was his surname again? I forgot his surname. Hawk. Yes, Hawk. Either they call you by your surname, Hawk, or they're going to call you the champion of Kirkwall once you progress into the game. And in Dragon Age Inquisition, you are the Inquisitor. That's it. Any name that you make up, it doesn't matter. You are the Inquisitor.
We're actually playing a pre-made character. Most NPCs will refer to the protagonist as Captain. His radio call sign is Rook.
Maybe even commies.
My version of the character is a soldier with a default appearance. 1949, East Germany.
Please be seated, Comrade Captain. Do you understand your mission?
Cross the border into the American occupation zone. Make contact with Vaclav and his group. If he is still loyal to Uncle Joe, recruit him. If not, terminate. The over-designed intro mission is the #1 source of complaints about the game. It's possible to do everything correctly and still get discovered and die. The patrolling Soviet soldiers don't know about our operation and will shoot to kill any sort of interaction.
Man, being a spy is difficult. Even your own comrades are going to kill you because they don't see you as one of them. They assume that you are an evil combatant when you're just, a spy working for the government. Damn.
Action with any character, Soviet or American, is followed by a scripted instant death. What you have to do is make a hole in the fence using wire cutters and then wait for the cutscene to trigger.
This is an RPG, but then the setting of the game makes it look like an RTS type of game. Because we're seeing the game field from a bird's eye view, if I can say that. And even the map has been cut. Like this darkness, after you've reached the limit, there's darkness. And it's just this blackness. It reminds me of the Sims games, the SimCity games. Especially like SimCity 3 Deluxe Edition. I used to play that a lot when I was younger. Where the map has got a limit, and beyond that limit, it's just darkness, So yeah, it kind of reminded me of that game, and also other games that have also got this limited map kind of, situation where there's nothing beyond the map. It's just darkness. Yeah.
Get a bazooka! The damn commies just started World War III.
While the Americans are distracted by the tank, we sneak past them. The world map.
The music, it's kind of calm. I don't know if it suits this game, but okay.
Germany is, in a sense, a world. Our destination is the hamlet of Gavberg, where we are supposed to meet Pan Vaclav.
Execution complete, sir. What about the woman?
Well, that was fast. Vaclav was executed by the unknown paramilitaries. Mission failed. Despite the fascistic-looking Brotherhood of Nod type of uniforms, these are actually the good guys from the previous game.
Are you sure?
Sentinels, an international Nazi hunting organization with a branding problem. Rook doesn't know anything about them, but the player does.
Going.
Man, even if you are the good guys, you're supposed to apprehend these people and take them to a court of law to be judged, to be tried for their crimes. Not you having extrajudicial killings here, executing people just simply because you know of their past. Nah, you guys are not good. I'm sorry. Ugh.
Yes, the music is absolutely not era appropriate. But you know what? Neither was the Red Alert soundtrack. The way you handle this encounter depends on your class. A soldier starts with 2 anti-personnel grenades, so
This is like a turn-based game, isn't it? Like, it's the player's turn to throw weapons or grenades at the enemy, and then once your turn is done, then the enemy combatants turn around and they shoot at you. So in that, on your turn, you have to make sure that you kill as many of them as possible. I don't think I'm going to like this game. Honestly, guys, I don't think I'm going to like this game. I don't enjoy turn-based RPG type of games. Turn-based, RTS games, I like that. Like Civilization, I like that. But like this, no. I'm sorry.
Makes sense to take advantage of that. Unfortunately, combat in this game is extremely RNG reliant. Expect to save scum. A lot.
Any of you serve in the army?
Yes, sir, officer. All of us.
Our protagonist is not exactly a dialoguer, but it would be wrong to say that he has no social skills. It's just every conversation involving Rook quickly becomes either an interrogation or an exchange of threats. It's like picking the renegade options in Mass Effect, except Shepard is a renegade some of the time, and Rook is a renegade all the time. You'll see what I mean in a minute.
And they are due to return soon.
The rest of the Sentinel unit is coming, and we need to prepare for their arrival. The civilians arm themselves with the rifles from the bodies and get to defensive positions.
Good to meet you again, Pan Vaclav.
Vaclav is gone, but the woman is still alive. You can pick up and carry dead or unconscious bodies, like in Deus Ex.
I can stabilize her wounds for, shall we say...
Sanders is not a mission-critical character, but saving her life can affect the ending.
So she's a critical character. How? She is a critical character.
The Sentinels will attack from two directions. One will be covered by the ex-Wehrmacht militia we organized, and the other seems to be random. The second battle in the game is quite hard. It is assumed you played the other two Silent Storms. Rook will almost certainly run out of ammo and will have to scavenge for resources.
Who's next?
Man, these death sounds, they're very convincing. They are very convincing. Even the shotguns and the blood splatter, all of it, very convincing.
The Sentinels had a radio with them. Vaclav is dead. Mission failed. I don't have an ID or local currency. Requesting extraction. Steering to Rook. The intelligence center was destroyed in a terrorist attack. Evacuation is impossible. Decrease your activity and adapt to circumstances. Recruit or liquidate the female survivor. Avoid capture at all costs. Contact us again as scheduled. Over and out.
Recruit or liquidate. Using such English just to say either she joins you or she's dead. Okay.
I need money. Well, that shouldn't be too hard. As Marx teaches, money has the occult ability to add to itself.
Sweet Jesus, Rook! That's not Marx. That's Nick Land. We begin our new life by looting the battlefield and changing into civilian clothing. Let's introduce ourselves to the man of the house.
You scared the hell out of me.
Conrad is a weapons dealer, and he has a job for Rook. He wants us to get rid of a competitor. There is an option of saying no, but it seems like it might be one of them fake RPG dialogue choices, and you'll end up saying yes, but with extra steps. That is not the case. In fact, this unassuming little questlet might be the most important choice we'll be making in this game. Here is a chart of the Hammer and Sickle story structure. If we accept Conrad's offer, then we go down this quest chain, which is
Oh my gosh, look at this.
It's about being a gangster in West Germany. And if we decline, we'll be doing a different quest line that is about the horrors of the Holocaust. What?
Get the hell out of my house.
Rook provokes Conrad
But I still don't think you're man enough.
and kills him.
Carry this one away.
The woman is still unconscious. There is nothing to do in Gavberg, but we have nowhere else to go. Rook makes camp in the wilderness, not far from the hamlet.
Okay, we see each other.
The audio mixing in this scene is horrible. What happens is that we are found by the local forester, who invites us to his cabin.
Why does the local forester attire look so military-like? Maybe he's a former military. Yeah, probably he's a veteran.
Pa, are these Meshuggahim causing trouble?
Moshe, put away your gun. Everything is fine.
The cabin is very comfy. I love this visual style. Clean and low poly without a layer of tacky post-processing effects that every game made in the second half of the 2000s was mandated to have.
Hiding Jews, Left-leaning political figures?
Back during the war, the Forester used to run an underground railroad of sorts. He knows all kinds of curious individuals.
Why this area would attract an intelligence agent from the newly minted state of Israel.
I'm not from Israel. I fight my own war.
Moishe is an Auschwitz survivor with eidetic memory.
I memorized every name.
He remembers everything, and having him in our party will dramatically change certain NPC interactions.
Oh, so you're recruiting him. You can recruit the lady, you can recruit him, this person with the photographic memory. I wonder how many more characters can you recruit in your little party. Because like games like Mass Effect, I think it's what, 6 or 7 people you can recruit. In Dragon Age, it was also like multiple types of people that you could recruit. And yeah, I'm just wondering in this RPG, how many people can you recruit? And will they have their own storylines? And, you know, will you be able to help them with whatever situation they have? You know, like how in other RPG games, there's stories behind the people that you've recruited. And, you know, you have to help them out. You have to further understand them far more deeper than before. So yeah, I'm just wondering if it's going to have that form of function in it, or are we just recruiting them and then, you know, we use them for the final battle or something. Yeah.
Moishe is a sniper, a useful class, but he starts with an Uzi, a rare new weapon added in Hammer and Sickle. His weakness is low physical strength.
God gives burdens, but also shoulders. You just give burdens.
This is a game where you need to carry a lot of crap. Silent Storm uses a combination of a traditional leveling system, that is, get XP, gain a level, with Bethesda-like get better by doing mechanics. I shadow box to get some points in melee, and maybe a point in strength, and then Rook accidentally makes a hole in the floor. The series got
Yeah, accidentally.
well-deserved praise for its physics engine and destructibility. We should go to Gavberg and see if Sanders woke up yet.
Either you join us or you die.
Affirmative.
She did.
You've had military training. What's your rank, soldier?
Lieutenant, 82nd Airborne.
This, of course, is not true. Sanders is the American version of Rook.
I need money to move to Mexico.
Oh, so that means she's a spy. Since she's the equivalent of Rook, she must be a spy.
How about 200 a week?
The campaign can be finished in less than 7 days.
Fine. Here are your 30 pieces of silver.
Like, this story is so unbelievable. No, lady, you're in Germany, but then you want to go to Mexico? Right.
Hey!
She's a soldier class. We don't have a set of civilian clothing for Sanders, so she'll have to sit this one out in the cabin. You can temporarily dismiss a companion by clicking on a bed.
That would be Fidel, the Spaniard who taught Carl words like desperado.
Small world. Our old friend Fidel Sanchez was spotted in the nearby town of Zeisenberg, which seems to be a fictional place. In order to operate in Zeisenberg, we need to come unarmed and in civilian clothing. And if we want to carry weapons, we need to obtain allied military uniforms. Violating these rules will lead to a shootout with the police, which will subsequently trigger World War III.
And before you ask...
You're kidding, right?
No, I don't work for Uncle Joe.
Fidel is a different man now. He doesn't want to play our games. He heads outside and is immediately arrested by the Allied counterintelligence.
We're too late. Someone else got to kill old Conrad.
Back in Gavberg, we get some reactivity for our actions.
Who do you think you are, barging in like that with your floozy?
I'll make you my floozy.
These guys are hitmen, sent after Conrad by a competitor.
You watch how you talk to me, soldier.
Jawohl, Herr Officer.
Rook bullies the gangsters and makes them take us to their boss, the enigmatic Sigmund.
Oh, one more thing. Don't say anything about his, face.
Sigmund is very special.
Wow.
Scared?
It reminds me of this character that I've seen in the Marvel movies. You know, that guy with the face like that, and he has like red skin, I think. I forgot his name. I forgot the character's name. But yeah, he reminds me of a particular character from the Marvel movies.
I've seen worse. You were in the tank corps, right? Where? Kursk? Ardennes?
Balaton.
It's probably a good thing Moishe ain't here listening to this. Sigmund has a mission that can only be accomplished by a group of spies. We need to rescue his friend Larry from an allied military prison. Larry used to serve in the Volkssturm, a national militia established during the last months of the Reich. We are provided a fake ID, American military uniforms and weapons.
I showed them the fake ID and bluff like hell.
Come on, look at you. I'd sooner throw you in a cell than let you release a prisoner.
She is absolutely...
And yeah, your accent is not American or British or French. You know, those are the main players of the Allied forces. It doesn't have that twang about it. So I don't think this is going to work.
Correct to be skeptical. We present documents to the officer who makes a phone call and... we look nothing like our ID.
Obviously.
Okay, reload. This time, we quietly kill the officer via a dialogue-based stat check and steal his uniform. This gives us access to the prison building. If we found a document forger, this whole situation could have been resolved without violence. But in that case, we wouldn't get the cool guns the Red Berets have.
Ready to rush them?
When the battle begins, our old buddy Fidel, who also happened to be locked up here, starts a prison riot.
My Fuhrer, do we have to kill all this?
And that's Larry. The game never says this explicitly, but I don't think it's his Volkssturm background that is the problem. Larry must be Hitler Youth or something. Moishe does voice
Yeah, I think he's mentally unstable, probably as well.
His concerns, but he doesn't care that much since Larry was just a kid. This is a military prison. The inmates can be quite dangerous if they manage to seize weapons from the prison guards. The Silent Storm combat is great. There are all sorts of features: destructible environments, noise visualization, ability to aim at specific body parts.
But why is the character shooting down like this? Like, you know?
Injury modeling, nice and readable graphics.
The Tree of Liberty must be watered with the blood of tyrants.
Unfortunately, the game doesn't have a simultaneous turns feature, so everything takes way too long. The interior is guarded by the British soldiers, who are dangerous enough, but the real threat are these guys, armed with Sterling Pratchett submachine guns. The E-11 blaster rifle from Star Wars was based on this frame.
Carry this one away.
Typically, being a violent mass murderer is a good way to lose the campaign, but in this instance we managed to get away with it. Fidel's riot obfuscated our actions.
Hi, Grandpa. We brought your desperado back.
I must say, I'm kind of losing the thread of the plot. What are we supposed to...
Like, I don't even know what you're supposed to be doing exactly. You know, Comrade Captain Rook was ordered to, you know, just stay low in Germany, in West Germany. Stay low, don't get any attention to yourself. Just stay there until we are able to extract you. But here he is doing missions for other people, going into prisons, killing people, you know, doing everything that he was told not to do. But anyways.
To do again? Adapt to circumstances? I suppose we can become more
But this is not adapting. You are bulldozing into circumstances.
Autonomous by accumulating capital. It's like Marx said, the future will take care of itself. Luckily, the Forester knows where to get money.
Your line of work was easy when your brother was in the Gestapo.
There is an antiquarian in Zeisenberg with an interest in history.
You can't prove anything.
He says he's well connected and he can make us disappear. But actually, it's Rook who disappears people.
Skip a payment and you'll meet the owners of this junk in hell.
Damn, bro.
Adapting to circumstances.
You're going to let him live?
We need money, Moshe.
Then let's kill him and take all his money.
He shoots the antiquarian in the ass and runs.
Moshe, you need the money tree to be alive. If you kill the money tree, you won't get any more money. What are you doing? This is supposed to be like an extortion. Not... anyways.
Away. It's possible to avoid this by passing an intelligence check, but I'm just not...
Or just leave Moshe back at the base, leave him there to sleep, and come here with someone else. You know, a different character.
Emotionally invested enough in this guy's well-being. Dialectically outmaneuvered and outpraxised. The main plot is progressed by robbing the apartment above the bar, whose owner appears to be a terrorist.
Look at these photos. It's the water scoop installation.
Let's go stop a terrorist attack. We are the good guys. The American patrols are everywhere, and we still don't have a valid ID.
Sir, who are these people with you?
All right, Rook. You are an undercover operator. You've been training for this your whole life.
Detainees. Nazi werewolves, perhaps. Maybe even commies.
Ha!
Sir, would you mind if I see your papers?
I would.
Time to fight.
Unless you want to intentionally trigger the bad ending, acts of violence against Allied soldiers should be avoided at all costs. The prison segment being the only exception I can think of. I reload and sneak around the building to the area exit. The terrorist attack is already in motion. The unknown paramilitaries have seized the water processing plant. This is a very hard battle. Make sure you come fully healed and well equipped. You'll have to save scum until you take out or incapacitate as many targets as possible on turn 1.
I've been shooting since I was 7.
Ranged combat is lethal in Hammer and Sickle, more so than in the previous games. Leave one guy alive and you can expect to receive a critical injury.
Shot, Signora. For a woman.
Fidel is
What?
an old-style conservative leftist.
I see.
After the bad guys are dead, open the loot screen and click on a canister with Russian markings.
Put it down.
Why?
The canisters, don't you smell that?
It's important to do the opposite of what she says. Collect all the canisters, as well as a pack of Soviet cigarettes one of the terrorists dropped, and then proceed to the nearby building. Exit the map via sewers. We have a limited amount of time to do this, around a minute before an American patrol shows up. If you fail to collect the canisters, the Allies will assume this was a botched Soviet terrorist attack.
And World War III begins.
Now, Elizabeth, can we please be honest? You're no paratrooper. You're a
Well, duh.
medic.
She's a spook.
Damn. How long have you known?
Welcome to Durlag's Tower of Shit, a long multi-floor sewer dungeon. The quality of battles declines sharply in the second half of the game. Expect tons of enemies and traps inside tiny pathways that are impossible to navigate as a group.
Yeah, guys, I don't really like this, in terms of the map now being further narrowed down into this corridor kind of maze system that you have to figure out. I don't really like games like this. I'm sorry. Yeah.
For the motherland! For Stalin!
Sir,
Yeah, for the motherland, for Stalin. The tree of liberation must be watered with the blood of tyranny.
this is West Germany. You are a secret agent. Rook is a
He doesn't care anymore, especially when he kills people.
very Kojimian character, perhaps unintentionally. See, this is how Sanders shoots her submachine gun, and this is how Rook does it. They have the same class. I don't know if this is some exotic perk I took, or if the gangster-style animations are unique to the protagonist. I prefer to think it's the latter. A clandestine operative who guns down motherfuckers using a secret Soviet CQC technique, while yelling "Hail Stalin" at the top of his lungs.
The fascists never see me coming.
The bad guys are Thor's hammer, the evil counterpart to the Sentinels. We'll learn more about them in a minute.
Tell the saints, Fidel says hello.
The character barks in this game are great. We take the terrorist's commander alive. Rook incapacitates him.
Are you gonna interrogate
It looked like he killed him.
him now? They're probably on their way here.
Sanders is right. In less than a minute, an Allied patrol will emerge from the tunnel behind us. This is the second big choices and consequences moment in the narrative design masterpiece Hammer and Sickle, and you will never guess what the choice was. The cutscene makes you assume that we took Siegfried prisoner. We actually didn't. You need to click on his body to
He's dead.
confirm capture. Without a Hammer officer to interrogate, we are stuck with no main quest leads. We choiced and consequenced ourselves into a corner. We don't know what to do next. The game attempts to fix the story by forcing us into a Sentinels versus Thor's Hammer firefight. Which side should we take?
Gain their trust and shoot them in the back.
The Sentinels seem to have the upper hand. They kill all the terrorists in the first turn, except for the guy who spawns next to our party. Unfortunately, he gets to go before we do, and he uses his turn to decapitate Larry.
Captain, the boy's down!
And if we side with Thor's Hammer, we have to face a Sentinel squad without cover. This game hates cover. Let's avoid making this choice by reloading a save and clicking on Siegfried unconscious body.
Siegfried Kruger, Captain. Last service allocation, Wehrmacht, 22nd Infantry.
He was recruited into the Hammer after the fall of the Reich. Initially, they attacked both the Allies and the Soviets until...
So much money appeared. New equipment. I think the Hammer has a new master.
The water processing plant was Operation Shapeshifter. Perform terrorist acts in the Western Zone disguised as Russians. Do the same in the Soviet Zone disguised as Americans. Siegfried shows us the location of the Hammer HQ and joins the team. He is a grenadier and has unique perks that extend the potency and range of grenades.
This is the
Okay, welcome.
Anubis symbol. They're Nazis who study the occult.
This version of Ananurb is less about dark magic and more about advanced technology, laser guns, power armor, jetpacks. Other Silent Storms explore this in detail.
Some CIA guys wanted the bastards alive to work in Dulles' new CIA.
How would you know that? Huh?
They said I should forget future promotions.
Like I said, Sanders is the American version of Rook. She keeps accidentally telling everyone she's CIA, but our guys are pretending not to notice out of...
Maybe they're just slow, you know? Maybe they're just slow to come to that realization. Or maybe they're in denial that she's a spy. Maybe.
Politeness. I love these characters. We carefully search the building room by room, only to find nothing. We are too late. This is another plot fork. Rook had to stop by the doctor's office on the way here, and this took about a day of in-game time. Someone else hit the HQ and stole the secret documents.
I've been waiting for you. We need to talk.
In the
Okay, who are you?
grand arc of the plot, it ultimately doesn't matter, but we'll get to play a different set of missions now.
Identify yourself, or this place will be treated to a glorified spectacle of decontextualized violence.
This line doesn't seem to be a...
Decontextualized violence. Wow. Rook.
reference to anything specific. Rook is just trying to impress the Anglo-Saxon colonel. I can...
Clearly, because I've never heard anyone say that, ever. Decontextualized violence. What?
use big words. I can speak white.
Decontextualized what?
For how exotic the setup for the story is, the game's politics are strangely uncontroversial. With one exception, the game refers to all Soviet people as Russians. Don't do that. The ultimate villain of the story are the American neo-Nazi conspirators puppeteered by the military-industrial complex. This was made in the mid-2000s, and back then the Americans went on a post-Cold War rampage across the world. These kind of themes used to be progressive.
Let me shoot him, kid.
If we listen to Fidel and attempt to fight the colonel, he uses British kung fu to defeat our entire party with his bare hands, and then he flees. Beautifully insane. Reload.
Sir Alan MacLeod decided to forego his life of privilege to help the workers of the world?
I hate communism, but I was ordered to disregard all Sentinels' activity in the zone, even though my command knew they were determined to strike here.
The Hammer archive was confiscated by the Sentinels. He gives us the location of their base. The US intelligence are using terrorists to create a casus belli to justify war. The British colonel doesn't like that.
Did you see that, my Fuhrer?
The base of
Still with my Fuhrer, Larry? Oh gosh.
Assault is a sequence of 3 missions. Map 1 is about crossing the guarded bridge.
Someone just clipped right through it.
The game is working hard to outdo itself, producing progressively shittier and shittier battles.
Dies like a little piggy.
Think about this as a puzzle. We have to kill or apply a crippling status effect to every soldier on the map, including those we can't see yet. There is no cover. The squad is in the open, and that doesn't even matter since we can't move anyway, as movement will trigger immediate interrupt, followed by death. So you have to save scum until every shot and every grenade lands perfectly.
I want $200 now, Captain. Just kidding.
Stage 2 is about assaulting the base entrance, and it's much more manageable.
What is my score?
The base itself is another sewer level with narrow corridors where squad maneuvering is impossible. But on a positive side, I enjoyed that this place is designed kind of like the player's base in an XCOM game.
No thank you. No thank you. No thank you. My eyes hurt already.
Eventually, we reach the commander's office and confiscate a big-ass bag containing the Hammer archive.
You sent that Russian to soften us up so you could kill us!
Exactly. Unfortunately, I had assumed you would be competent.
Every character is schemer, high difficulty, puzzle fights. Oh my god, it's a Vince game.
What happened to that bold Archie I knew in the war?
Get on with it, you bastard.
There he is again, right on time.
Wait, did he? He missed! Archie is still alive, in Serbia.
Captain, we need to talk.
She told everyone else to wait for us in the forester's cabin. We are alone in the middle of nowhere.
How could you be so stupid as to let neo-fascists create your foreign policy?
Yeah, we commies are too smart to fall.
Throwing stones in that glass house, are we now, Captain? Oh, Comrade Captain Rook. Throwing stones.
For that, Operation Tornado begins in days. They'll hit the US occupational zones wearing Soviet uniforms and the Soviet zones wearing the US uniforms. We need to warn the KGB, as well as the CIA elements that are not yet under the Lalilulelo control.
The Americans are not going to trust an AWOL paratrooper.
No, but they'll trust a CIA agent.
Where are you going to find...
Oh, here we come. There it comes. The truth is coming out.
Oh, God.
Rook, she was trying to tell you about this earlier, but you just don't listen to women. Sanders says that if she would have met us under different circumstances, maybe something would have happened between us.
Nothing was going to happen between you two. You guys are spies. Can't trust anything you guys say. Nothing.
She takes a few papers from the bag and leaves. And there you have it, Rook. A furrow too many, a lover too few.
Casualty radius. 10 kilometers? Must be a misprint.
We discover the Hammer intentions to blow up our Soviet friends with a nuke. And we have the location, an old railroad tunnel near the border.
I'm still trying to ascertain how were they able to acquire a nuke and bring it all the way here to West Germany.
Need to leave now. The cave dungeon is the second to last battle, and by the standards of this game, it's actually not too bad. Hello, Ivan.
They're going to jump out of this.
The Hammer machine gunner at the end of the corridor can see us before we see him.
I need a tourniquet.
So naturally, I assume this is a puzzle kind of a fight, where we need to shoot the light bulbs to enable stealth mode and then sneak past the MG. This doesn't work. What you actually have to do is charge him. 70% of the time, he instantly spots and decapitates you. 30% of the time, nothing happens and the combat doesn't trigger.
30%? Hey, that's a bit too small for my liking.
Swear the original Silent Storms are not like this. They're good games, I promise. Confused about how to proceed from here, I shoot the nuke with a German paratrooper rifle, but that doesn't seem to do anything. Notice that Rook also uses his gangster animations when firing rifles. Kinda weird.
I'm sure he does it with all the guns.
Cool. So if we exit the map via ladder, the nuke detonates. And we get the bad ending. Okay. So we actually do have to shoot the nuke with the rifle. It just takes a while.
Yeah, well, as long as you're not hitting the detonation rods or something, then yeah, probably the nuke won't go off. but radiation might be a problem.
Maybe we shouldn't have stood this close. I guess this is Rook's superhero origin story now.
Okay.
Back in the GDR, now to warn the troops and save the world. This is the actual shittiest mission in the game. Rook's friend, the Soviet officer who sent us into Western Germany, happened to be around. His car happened to be ambushed by the unnerved werewolves, wearing foreign uniforms.
What's my score? I've lost count.
To get the best ending, the Soviet officer needs to survive. Easier said than done. The enemies can see much further than we do, their weapons have longer range than ours, and Rook usually goes down in 1 or 2 hits.
Continue the mission without me.
It's a disaster, but I played Hammer and Sickle before. I remember the last mission being much easier, and this was when I realized that the game f***ed me. The conversation with Sanders makes you believe that the war is imminent. We need to move fast, but looking at the chart, I don't think there is a time limit. We could have gathered our squad, healed up, went to Sigmund, got weapons. Whatever. I don't have an earlier save, so let's watch the good ending on YouTube. The world never learned how close we came to nuclear Armageddon. Few paid attention to a chain of suicides of US congressmen and senior officials. And even Truman's puzzling speech didn't hold the media attention for long. Nobody quite understood what exactly the president meant when he said that the United States accept the extended hand of friendship offered by the Soviet Union, and that they will never get themselves tricked into another war by a clique of villains. The point of Molotov's speech also remains a mystery. He said that the Soviet Union remembers the American aid it received during the war, and it remembers the blood spilled by the American soldiers in the fight against fascism.
So, you're an anti-fascist.
The powers agreed to reduce their military presence in Germany.
To avoid denazification.
So this was Hammer and Sickle. I'll buy that for $1. Unfortunately, it's not for sale. If you want a game that is kind of like Hammer and Sickle, but good, consider purchasing Silent Storm Sentinels on Steam or GOG. Alright, let's do patron credits, and then we'll exercise our RPG knowledge to fix this broken game in a thought experiment.
I want $200 now, Captain.
This channel is supported by enthusiasts, including Jim Lawrence, Dmitry Yu, Ilya Rubin, I Feed My Parrot Chicken, Tony Spagani,
I feed my parrot. Okay.
1967 Ford Mustang, a 2-room apartment in Bobruisk, Belarus alt, Azazel and Baneful the Doggo, Eric Luitkehans, Miracle Moses Porter, Buck Swope, Source is the best engine ever made, Snafu, Ganso Bomber Motherfucker, Nathan Kabiska, Dark Butt Pumpkin.
Man, these names are so funny.
Billy Strayhorn, Frog, Gang Warfare Enthusiast. My next video will be on I Divine Cybermancy. You Got My Ear, Danny Kilpatrick, Ray Ners, Yuri Solodovnichenko, and C6.
Get a bazooka! The damn commies just started World War III.
So the game is fully voice acted in English, and the VAs are pretty good. But in the original Russian version, you have Russians voicing American characters, and it's something else.
Oh shit, it's Russian tank. Damn it, commie, somebody bring the bazooka!
Simply
right.
The best. I understand why Hammer and Sickle is no longer sold. It would generate nothing but complaints and refund requests. There are no less than 3 instances where the game tells you to do the opposite of what you are actually supposed to do. Looking back, the strangest thing about Hammer and Sickle is that it generally failed at easy problems, but succeeded at things that are very hard to get right. This is a party RPG where a Soviet Smersh commando, a Holocaust survivor, a Spanish revolutionary, a CIA agent, and an ex-Hitler Youth small-time gangster team up to fight the American military-industrial complex.
That looks rather painful.
And it somehow works. The characters are the best part of this, and I want to know what happened to them after the ending. I wish this had Fallout-style ending slides. Fidel retires and becomes a masculinity coach. Sanders goes back to America and gets involved in her local megachurch.
I thought she wanted to go to Mexico.
Rook works a quiet job in the Soviet diplomatic corps. Disappointed with the Soviet interpretation of Marxism, one day, on an assignment to London, he defects. He has something of a career in British academia,
He's going to be assassinated.
eventually getting involved in an experimental cultural theorist collective at Warwick University.
Jawohl, Herr Officer.
The weakest part of the game is combat encounter design. It's horrible. The maps lack basic terrain features, the underground levels encourage AI abuse and discourage team maneuvering and tactical decision-making. Not to mention they're visually bland.
Very bland.
Just terrible and embarrassing for a third game in a series. And listen, I love short RPGs, but this game is too short. The characters don't get a chance to express themselves mechanically. Siegfried is a grenader. Cool. He got to throw 2 grenades in this campaign. Hammer and Sickle ends before the story matures. Some of these side branches should have been integrated into the main narrative. Why do I have to pick between recruiting Moishe and being a highway bandit? Why can't I be a bandit together with my friend Moishe? You can remove half of these branches and still end up with reasonably choicey and consequency campaign. Like, there is a quest where Moishe learns that Siegfried was in the SS and executes him. There is a sequence of endgame missions where we get to fight the opening battle of World War III. Rook gets a call from command. We have to talk to our party members and make sure they're loyal. Sanders will have to be either tied up or shot. The Soviets will then send 2 special agents who will join our party, and the final battle begins. The failure path sounds cool enough to be triggered intentionally. Anyway, this game will never be fixed. Hammer and Sickle is for YouTubers. It's not for people. The next vid is Fallout 1. Give me all your money via the crowdfunding platform Patreon. See you all in a few weeks.
Oh shit, it's Russian tank. Damn it, Commie, somebody bring the bazooka.
Bring the bazooka. Yeah, guys, alright. That is it with Hammer and Sickle RPG, made on the Warlockracy YouTube channel, requested by Alpha Shocker. Yeah. I would not play this game. Like I've said before, I would not play this game. A turn-based RPG type of game, no, I'm sorry. And in terms of the characters, we don't really have any more, information about them, instead of just the first basis information, whether they're a spy or one has photographic memory, the other one is a bit out of it in terms of Larry with his My Führer to everybody, and then Fidel as well. I don't know, I didn't get enough information about these characters, and that's mainly what I'm there for when I play an RPG. I'm not just playing my character, but I'm also investing my time and my interest in the characters that fight alongside with me. That's very important. And in this game, it just didn't really give me that type of unity or common cause, fighting together against a particular enemy. Yeah, it was just very rushed in that aspect in terms of the characters. And also the game storyline, it just went all over the place. It went all over the place. Like, I didn't really have a definitive reason why Captain or Commrade Captain Rook is not adhering to what he was commanded to do, like to lay low, stay low, don't do anything, out of the ordinary, and yet he did, and somehow, somewhere it plays into, him saving the world from World War III. I don't know. I just needed more of a step-by-step process about what's going on, how is it benefiting or how is it going to affect Commrade Captain Rook, and what are the stakes, not only just for World War III, but, just the neighboring countries to Western Germany, because there was still also East Germany, there's still also the other countries like France or Poland, just make it more inclusive with all these other elements instead of just focusing on these separate cells that have their own interests in World War III occurring. I don't know. I wanted more. I really wanted more. But yeah, the gameplay, like I said before, I also don't really enjoy how it looks. The fact that you're seeing everything from a bird's eye view like that, it's just not really good for me in terms of an RPG type of game. I think maybe because, you know, the RPG type of games I've played are very different compared to Hammer and Sickle. Very, very, very different. And yeah, I just need to probably get used to this type of RPG. I don't know. But yeah, it's not a game that I'm aiming to play anytime soon. Okay guys, that is it with my reaction to Hammer and Sickle RPG. Thank you again to Alpha Shocker for the request. Remember guys, if you want to check out the original video as well as Warlockracy's YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. Okay? Bye bye.